Yeah, because it's hard to look back at my body. Just that I've had a chance to do all these things. There's not, there's so many moments that were like, that was fun, that was great. Boy, I was looking just back at those. It's the people you get to work with, that you say, that was great. I had a chance to work with Jack Palance. The first movie I ever saw was Shane. He was, was great in that. So then I'm working with him. And
City Slickers.
And Robert De Niro. I mean, who's, greater than him? And then I got a chance to be with him. And now with Bette. It's like you get a chance to mingle and work with these people and get a little of that magic dust on you. It's fantastic.
And have such a good time, right?
Yes, but you didn't show the thing that was really the highlight was I got to play with the New York Yankees. That was, to me, the sickest, greatest thing ever.
That was when, a few years ago, right?
When I turned 60, they gave me the greatest party of all and present of all. They signed me to a one-day contract. And I played against the Pittsburgh Pirates. You have it? Oh, there it is.
Doing that groin stretch.
That's, yeah. That was right after lunch. And that to me was the greatest moment ever, because I always wanted to play baseball. And I got to play against the Pirates. I fouled one off. I had 6 pitches. I had that's the greatest thing ever.
Was it? Yeah.
The Oscars are great. I enjoyed that. All these movies. My show here in New York, to be a Yankee, even for just 6 pitches, greatest thing.
You talk.
You know what I mean? It's like, that was something else.
You talk a lot about baseballs and about baseball and your love of baseball, and of course a lot about family and 700 Sundays, which I thought was the best play. I just love that one-man show. It was so touching and funny and just, I thought, beautifully written. But tell folks how you became obsessed with baseball. You were a kid growing up on Long Island. Yeah, in Long Beach, Long Island. And my dad was a very good baseball player. I'm the youngest of 3 boys. And in 1956, on May 30th, he took us to see our first game at Yankee Stadium. And I saw Mickey Mantle for the first time. And that's all I wanted to do was be Mickey Mantle. I mean, I walk like him, with a limp. And my bar mitzvah I did with an Oklahoma drawl. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. I grab myself and spit. But I just always loved to play. I always loved the simplicity of the game. There's 2 things where I'm really comfortable and feel like I can be quiet. Fielding ground balls on a sunny day or just throwing a ball around. And being on horseback. Your dad, I know, died when you were just 15 years old. And is that when you really kind of realized how comedy would help your family? Because I know you used to tell your mom a lot of jokes to kind of help her through that, help the family through that loss. Yeah, well, we all were very funny. My dad loved comedians, and we grew up in a great time on television. It was Sid Caesar and Phil Silvers and Carl Reiner and Howard Morris, and it was great. Really the golden age of comedians. And he would bring home comedy albums from the family business was a little record store on 42nd Street. My relatives, I'd perform for them. I'd sit on, there's no coffee table here. If you spend $1, you'd have a coffee table. Ouch! And I'd stand there and I'd imitate all the relatives, and that's how it really got started. And the challenge now is making the little ones laugh. That's hard. But now they're starting to understand what I do. They started with Monsters, Inc. So now I had to talk like Mike Wazowski for 6 months. And that drove me out of my mind. Hey, it's time to go to school! Like 6 months of that was like, hi, Grandpa Mike. I'm not Grandpa Mike. I have 2 eyes, and I'm not green. And then they saw The Princess Bride, and I had to be Miracle Max for a little while, So they're starting to understand. So when you get a laugh out of a little kid, that's the greatest joy of all. We're going to put that on the hot seat in a moment. But before we do, what about the Oscars? I love you doing the Oscars. And you obviously came in at the last minute last year when Eddie Murphy pulled out. Do you have as much fun doing it as we have watching you?
You caught me in a good moment. Hey. Yeah, I do. Last year was pressurized because we had a lot to do. I thought we did a lot of funny things. And it's always nice to have that feeling of trust, and it's a hard job. It's a thankless job sometimes. But I have fun. I love the people I surround myself with, my writers, and they've done every one of them with me, and it's sort of like, all right, what can we do now? And
it's a lot of pressure, though, isn't it?
It's a lot of pressure. Yeah. But I have a good time doing it.
Well,
and if I do, the show does.
Yeah, well, I love when you host the Oscars. I wish you would do it again, so hopefully you will one of these days,
I'm
right?
too tired right now.
Okay. Well, coming up, the Divine Miss M talks about music, movies, and motherhood. After this.